Hey guys, how you doing? T&B here, and today's special cameo appearance is going to be by, that's right, the Red Eyes Black Dragon Attack Inferno Fire Blast! I just realized I have a bunch of pop figurines, like probably more pop figurines than a normal human being needs to have, and I figured, why not have a cameo appearance? Why all these different anime characters every single episode, right? I just ordered a 6-inch Exodia one, and when that thing comes in the mail, oh, it's obliterating time. Alright. So today's video is a very simple premise. Where'd I put my skull? Okay. Today's video is going to be about 5 possible theories on how Onigashima, the home base of Kaido / Muffin Island, is going to turn into a giant mechanical crab. We all know at some point Onigashima is going to turn into a giant mechanical crab, but the question is, how is it going to turn into a giant mechanical crab? And if you're not on the same page as me right now, then I have no idea what to tell you. You just haven't been following this story. You haven't been listening to anything that anyone has been saying about One Piece. We all know this is going to happen at some point, right? Yes, of course. Okay. And for those of you wondering out there, like, you're not crazy, alright? But for those of you out there wondering, Tekking, why are you so obsessed with a giant mechanical crab being part of this story? No. Don't you mind why I'm so obsessed with the giant mechanical crab theory, okay? It will make its purpose known when we get there, okay? But no. Today's video is going to be about 5 possible theories on the Onigashima project. Alright, everybody, gather around. Kaido's got something to Papa Kaido's got something to say. Alright, so last chapter we saw Kaido, along with all of the calamities, step out on the platform at the Golden Kagura, like, exhibition hall in the Fire Festival. Orochi's there, and that this is gonna be a big announcement, alright? He's got all the calamities backing him. He also wants Big Mom to be there during this announcement. She's on her way, and he also wants Yamato, his son, to be there, but, you know, he's kind of busy right now, so, I mean, I guess Kaido just kind of gave up on him. He's just like, well, Yamato's not gonna be here, but whatever. I gotta make this announcement. Let's just do it, okay? So we don't know the exact nature of the announcement yet, but he presented the announcement as the new Onigashima project, or the new Onigashima Initiative, implying that whatever this announcement's going to be, it's gonna be something that the entirety of the Beast Pirates are gonna be part of. Alright, this is not gonna be something that, like originally, there were theories out there that maybe there was gonna be a marriage between Yamato, the son of Kaido, and one of Big Mom's children, okay? Like we just had in Totland, you know, with Sanji and Pudding and stuff like that. So, I mean, that was a possible theory, but just the way that Kaido phrased it, like, the new Onigashima Initiative, I don't think Kaido's exactly gonna follow that up with being like, we're gonna have a wedding, you piss ants! Now, I want you guys, every gifter, I want you to go out there and open up a registry. Pleasures, your job is gonna be table organization, and I wanna see some damn fine centerpieces. Now, waiters, guest list. I want a who's who, not you who's who, I want a who's, actually, you know what? Who's who, you should work with the guest list. That would actually be perfect. Who's who does the who's who of who's invited to the wedding. That would be pretty funny, but for a few reasons. Number one, we just had that last arc with the big wedding ceremony and stuff like that, so I don't think there's gonna be a wedding. Or if there is going to be some kind of union in a like a professional way, like a wedding to join the Beast Pirates and the Big Mom Pirates together in a single, like, alliance, if that is going to happen, that's not gonna be the centerpiece for this Onigashima Initiative, alright? So that's one theory that I kind of disregard because, you know, I don't want to rehash what we just did in the last arc, right? Okay. So the first 2 theories are kind of similar. They involve the Beast Pirates and the Big Mom crew joining together to go against another big force, okay? So theory number 1 is Big Mom and Kaido are going to get together to go after another Yonko. And the second theory, number 2, is they're getting together to go after the Marines and the world government. I'm guessing that you could combine these theories together, because if they took out one, they would probably go after the other eventually. But it's more of a question, I think, on what they're going to tackle first. What their main initiative is going to be, you know, as soon as they've joined together in force. Because that's the whole reason Kaido's making this announcement. I don't think Kaido would be making this initiative announcement if it wasn't because of the alliance that was just formed between him and Big Mom. Oh, another thing as well, I'm assuming probably most of the Beast Pirates know already that the alliance is happening, so I don't think the announcement is going to be, alright everybody, listen up! you know, Big Mom and me are getting together. You know, like, I think most of the people already know that, like the Murmurings and the Beast Pirate crew and the Big Mom crew as well, that this alliance has already happened. It's already been cemented, so that's probably not going to be the announcement, alright? That would be kind of boring, like, we already knew that, right? So, yeah. So, let me ask you, you know, alright, you have Big Mom and Kaido and their crews joining together in union. What would you go after first if you were the commander? If you were Kaido or if you were Big Mom and you had a say in how you were going to organize your forces here, if you were going to play this massive game of Risk in the One Piece world, would you go after the Marines and the world government, or would you go after the Yonko first? Alright, I guess it really honestly comes down to what your goals are. If the goal is to find the One Piece and Laugh Tale as quickly as humanly possible, you would probably go after the other Yonko, especially Shanks, because Shanks used to be a member of Roger's crew. Shanks didn't go to Laugh Tale with Roger, but still, if you're Kaido and Big Mom, you're like, well, if there's anybody on this planet that would know anything more about Laugh Tale than the average pirate, it would be Shanks. If there's anybody out here that might actually know the location of that 4th road poneglyph where we can get our hands on it, probably going to be Shanks, right? Because he used to be a member of Roger's crew, and everybody knows this. Everyone knows Roger had Shanks as a cabin boy. That was well known. It was just found out like 2 years ago that Buggy was part of it, but everyone, I think, knew that, you know, Shanks used to be a member of Roger's crew. So yeah, everybody already knows that. And of course, another thing is you'd be eliminating your competition, right? Get rid of your competition as quickly as humanly possible. So form an alliance, beat down Blackbeard, get rid of Shanks. Boom, you know, it's just the 2 emperors now, but the 2 emperors, with their forces together, probably have enough military might and battle power to take over the world. And the Marines, even Sengoku mentioned that. Like, this is a really dangerous thing. If they could actually work together in perfect harmony, we're kind of screwed, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm gonna say theory number 1, it would probably make more sense to go after, the Yonko first. I guess you could, because, like, the world government, the Marines, they have bases kind of all over the world. The Yonko are kind of just centered right there in the New World, in the Grand Line, okay? So, if you could take them out, and also, if you go up against the Marines, they're probably going to throw the full force of the Marines and the Cypher Pole and the SSG directly at you, okay? If you go up against one of the Yonko, like if they fought against Blackbeard first, if it's Kaido and Big Mom's alliance going up against Blackbeard, there's no guarantee Blackbeard's going to get any backup from the Marines or the world government or Shanks. Maybe the government might consider it, like, if we don't help out Blackbeard, then if he loses, then Kaido and Big Mom are just going to be even stronger, because they might accrue some power from Blackbeard's crew, like, you know, some people might go over and switch over, and then if we don't help out Shanks, and then Shanks gets destroyed, then we pretty much just have Big Mom and Kaido as this massive force against us. So I would save the Marines and the world government for later, okay? But it's definitely a possibility. So moving on to theory number 2, they're going to go straight into Marineford. At least Marineford specifically to begin, because the Marines are the government's main battle force, okay? Yes, they got the Cypher Poles. Yes, they got the SSG. But the Cypher Pole's numbers are, I don't know what exactly the numbers are of every single Cypher Pole agency outpost all over the world, but even probably adding up everybody from Cypher Pole's 0 all the way to 9, and I'm not even sure if Cypher Pole 9 is even active anymore because Rob Lucci and everybody went over to CP0, so CP9 might be defunct as far as we know right now. It might just go CP1 through 8 and then CP0, and then that's it. But whatever numbers the Cypher Pole has, the Marines greatly probably outstrip them in terms of just that, and just the sheer numbers, okay? So, and then you got the SSG, which is relatively new, and I'm not even sure Kaido and Big Mom even know much about the SSG, you know, so exactly what they have to bring to the table. You got the pacifistas and everything, but beyond that, I'm not really sure what Vegapunk has cooking up here, right? So, if you take out the Marines, though, point is, Marines fall, taking out the rest of the world government, it's not going to be easy by any metric, but it's going to be a hell of a lot simpler when the Marines, if they're taken out, if you crush all of their battleships and their vice admirals and their captains and their chain of commands, and if you could even take out one of the admirals along the way, that would be insanely useful to actually... Now, you still have the problem of conquering the Red Line, you still have the issue of getting into Marijois and then taking out, you know, the city and the Celestial Dragons, and then imagining Kaido and Big Mom sitting on they walk in and they see the empty throne there, and they're just like, this throne is too damn small! Kaido just Kanabo's it out the window, and he's like, build me a bigger throne. You know, like, there's still a long way away, even if they managed to completely decimate the Marines, like, they just walk into Marineford, and it's just a pile of ash by the time they're done with it, they still got literally a mountain to climb, so there's some problems with that, so I would say that's why, go after the other Yonko first, and also, Kaido was afraid of making this announcement if he made it too early, or if he did not make it with Big Mom and Yamato present, it would cause a lot of discourse amongst his crew. People would start to get like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, it would cause more confusion, more harm than good. So I'm trying to think of strategies that if Kaido just came out and declared, he might not get a standing ovation. He might not get a 100%, yeah, Kaido! Like, if Kaido just came out and like, alright guys, here's the new initiative. We're gonna make a giant sake waterfall! Yeah! You know, everybody would cheer unanimously for that, right? But if he came out and he's like, alright, piss ants, here's the new Onigashima Initiative! Yeah! We're gonna raid Marijois! Yeah, Kaido! And we're gonna wipe out the Marines! I mean, yeah, that's good, you're down with the Marines, but, kind of biting off more than we could chew. Or even if he came out, it's like, we're gonna take out Blackbeard, we're gonna raid freaking, Pirate Island, you know, that Blackbeard's based off, the Hachinosu, the Beehive, and we're gonna take their honey, you know, like, if he came out and just said that with really no build-up or context, people would be kind of freaked by that. They would be like, okay, we trust you, boss, but, I don't know, that's pretty crazy, right? So, yeah, those are the first two theories I threw out, and so we'll see where that goes. I also thought about throwing out the Revolutionary Army, but I don't know. Do you think Kaido and Big Mom would even be really concerned with the Revolutionary Army in any major capacity, where that would be like their first initiative? First thing we gotta do, Big Mom, is we gotta take out the revolutionaries. Yeah, I think that's more of the Marines and the world government's concerns right now, is the Revolutionary Army, right? Obviously, if Kaido and Big Mom did succeed in taking over the world government, the revolutionaries would have a problem with that. It's like, okay, well, we solved one problem. Kaido freaking Thunder Bagheera'd all the celestial dragons off of Marijois, so that's good. And Big Mom just engulfed the Gorosei in her girth. That's okay, but now we have this problem to deal with, right? So I don't think the revolutionaries would be their concern right out of the gate, alright. So the third theory, this is a little bit more about building on the alliance, but it's not exactly the wedding or anything like that. It's basically Kaido coming out and saying, alright everybody, I think a lot of you probably heard that me and Big Mom formed an alliance. Now I'm thinking a lot of you probably have a lot of stuff to say about that. Well, guess what? Tough cookies. It's happening, alright? So here's what's gonna go down. The Beast Pirates and the Big Mom crew, they're all together now. So some of you guys are going to be working for her, and some of her guys are going to come over here and work for us. And I don't want to hear any damn complaining about this, alright? Basically, it's going to be a fusion between the crews in a way that might cause discourse amongst the crews. I was even thinking about a possibility of, like, I'm not even sure, because the whole idea with Wano is sort of like there's different islands that were towed there by the ancient giants in the past. That's the reason why there's all these different weather patterns, and of course you got Onigashima itself, which has a giant skull, you know, like, mountain, and you're thinking, like, okay, is that thing like the skull of an actual ancient giant that was, like, just that freaking huge? If that was the case, then probably big enough to carry around these islands. So I was even thinking, like, is there a way that Wano itself could be moved to Totland, and like they could actually have their own little base of operations there? I'm not even really sure if that's feasible. But basically, like, the transfer of people around, and that would be the announcement, and that would cause discourse, of course, amongst the crew. You know, maybe restructuring Onigashima itself, or even, you know, messing around with Wano itself, you know, like or transferring all of Big Mom's crew there, you know. I'm not really sure how that would go down. It's a little bit more abstract of a theory, but I put it in there just because that would shock the people. Okay. The fourth theory I have, okay, I wasn't entirely joking about the giant mechanical crab. Okay. Maybe one of the reasons that Kaido came up with this plan, this initiative, is because he now has access to Big Mom's soul fruit. All right? Big Mom has the power to take a soul out of something and then throw it into seemingly any inanimate object or animal, and it becomes a sentient life form. We've seen this happen with giant trees like King Bomb. We've seen this happen with remember Cheese Island or whatever it was called, Milk Island or whatever, the island that had the giant hamburger on it in Totland. The giant hamburger was a homie. All right, so she can make things regardless of size into a homie. What if she made the giant skull on Onigashima into a homie? And then that homie grew giant mechanical legs that were built by Queen using his mechanical powers, and then you get a giant skull crab spider thing. Yes! I mean, like, okay, maybe not necessarily that, but utilizing Big Mom's soul powers to make something big into a homie. I just went with the giant skull because I'm now picturing a skull, you know, being the homie or whatever, and like maybe building a body for it or something. You know, Queen's good with mechanical tools and stuff, you know, maybe make a body for the thing, basically turning Onigashima into a mobile fortress, something of that nature. That would be pretty damn cool. All right, so, you know, the mechanical crab thing, maybe not exactly like that, but I'm still sticking by that. I would really love to see it in some way or shape or form, you know, the mobile fortress thing. And that would definitely be something that a lot of people would just think of and like, okay, Kaido, we're doing that? All right, that's great. I'm kind of confused. You know, see, this is why I wanted Oh, maybe that's why he wanted Big Mom literally present. Because if Big Mom is present, not just for, like, appearances, like, hey, look, we're together now. But if she could demonstrate her soul powers in front of the entire crowd, that would kind of, like, you know, quell any concerns people had. Like, we're gonna turn Onigashima into a giant mobile crab base! Huh? Let's show 'em, Lin. And then they take out, like, a little mini replica of Onigashima or something, like a little diorama, and then Big Mom uses her soul pocus and just poof, and then it starts crawling around the hall. It's like, see? Mama! It's like, we're gonna do that to the whole damn island! I'm like, alright, cool! Awesome! Yay! Okay, that's gonna be that. Alright. And, as for the fifth theory I have, this is kind of once again going back to Onigashima having the mountain with the skull, but this is thinking about it on a way bigger scale. And thinking about it on a bigger scale because I just read the latest chapter of Attack on Titan. No spoilers on what happened in that particular chapter, but what if there were more than just one big ancient giant in Wano? Yeah. What if, for example, Kaido is a descendant of the ancient giant race. Maybe, you know, crossbred a few times, like with the generations. He's not a full-blooded ancient giant, but he's got it in his veins. We see that with the horns, and even Yamato has horns as well, right? So what if somehow, in some way, Kaido came across information regarding, like, an ancient giant tomb? Or something like that, lying beneath Wano, Kuni or something. So, not just one giant that makes up Onigashima, but a bunch. Maybe the giant skull on Onigashima was like their king or something, like their leader of their tribe or whatever. And Kaido was like, he came up with some way, maybe we can use Big Mom's homie powers to animate the skulls, or the... Maybe if they're not... Maybe it's kind of like Oars, where Oars was kept in a freezer, so his body was kept preserved. Maybe they're ancient giant mummies. You know, like they're like Ryuma, kind of, where their flesh isn't completely gone, it's just all shriveled up. But, I'm not... Okay. Moria's power was specified that it works on corpses. You couldn't use Big Mom's homie powers to animate corpses. Does that include skulls, though? I guess it would. Damn it. I like that theory for a second there, and then I remember that little thing, because he was even, I think it was even clarified, like, that's the one thing you can't use the soul powers on. You need to have inanimate objects or animals. It can't be dead bodies, because that's the Kage no Mi's territory. So that might not be possible, reanimating the bodies of, like, the giants, like, directly, if that was the case, okay? But let's say you have an object like surrounding the giants or something. Like let's say you get like really badass huge samurai armor, and then you turn the samurai armor into a homie, and then you put that on the giant, and then they could move around. Okay, I'm just throwing this idea out there honestly because I really like the whole idea of the ancient giant lore, and I would love to see like a tribe of ancient giants still like alive in One Piece, or like have them be relevant in some major way. And when I say ancient giants, I'm not just talking about Oars' size or Oars' junior's size. I'm talking about like literally the size of the skull on Onigashima. Like what the hell made that thing, right? I want those things to show up in the story. So I'm trying to rack my brain, trying to figure out a way that they could still... Because you'd figure, if they already... Like, if they're still alive and thriving somewhere in the One Piece world, you'd think they would have popped up by now. Maybe they did. Maybe they were the things that were outside Thriller Bark. They didn't really resemble the giants like Oars, but maybe, I guess. So maybe they're all dead, and maybe there's a tomb for them underneath Wano. That was like their land that they lived in thousands of years ago, and Kaido knows they're down there, and he's like, I'm gonna figure out some way to wake them up and use them as, you know, my main force. That's a little reaching on that one, sure, but I just wanted to throw it out there as a possibility. Essentially, One Piece becomes Attack on Titan. But considering where we're at right now in Attack on Titan, that wouldn't be a bad thing, because it's getting pretty intense, you know? So yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's going to be launching an attack on the Yonko or the Marines. That's going to be most likely. Utilizing Big Mom's homie powers, you know, in some big way to help out the crew. That could be another possibility. Merging the crews together in a way that could really cause a major... That actually might be... I always used to think that the Alliance might fall apart because Kaido and Big Mom have a disagreement. But if they try to do something like this, that might even cause more of a disagreement. Not sure. And then the giant, you know, rumbling Attack on Titan, you know, Colossal Titan Stampede. That's more reaching. But it's a theory, right? A One Piece theory. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. And thanks for you to showing up for this Red Eyes Black Dragon. You're pretty cool. You're pretty cool.